This build will help create hundreds of orbs and give you constant uptime on your super. Are you struggling to generate enough orbs to help boost your weapon damage or recharge your super faster? What if I told you all you have to do is follow the dim link below in our description and you're gonna have a build that will do just that? Simple, right? Hi, my name's Avatar, and in today's video, I'm gonna be breaking down a Prismatic Warlock build that is going to create hundreds of orbs, ensuring that you and your fire team are always gonna have your super up and your weapon surges active. Thanks to Bungie's recent buff to roaming supers, Storm Trance is now a fantastic option, especially in add-ons activities like Onslaught or Contest of Elders as you're seeing here, especially when you pair it with Storm Dancer's Brace. This exotic chest piece states that each target you defeat in your super increases the damage you deal, and it refunds super energy once your Storm Trance ends. But crucial tip, this exotic does not activate properly if you are in your super while you're also transcendent. Meaning, wait until your super ends to pop your transcendence, or if you use your transcendence, once that ends, then pop your super, because then you'll be able to take advantage of Storm Dancer's Brace. Otherwise, you're just not going to gain super energy back, which is a total disappointment. So let's break down this build a little bit more. Since we are going to be playing more roaming activities like you see here with Contest of Elders, the Storm Trance is a super just for that. Enhanced super damage with our exotic and energy refund on kills, making it an excellent choice for clearing waves of enemies, but also generating orbs for your fire team. For abilities, we're gonna want to rely on Arcane Needle, which provides 3 charged melees, which is great for activating our heavy-handed mods as well as some of our fragments, but also it gives us 3 charges for our lightning surge. All right, for grenades, we're gonna do our Threadling grenades solely because it is a strand element, which gives us darkness energy. We're also gonna be using Phoenix Dive. It does have the fastest cooldown, so we get health regen a lot quicker. Aspect-wise, like I said before, we're using Lightning Surge. It helps give great burst damage and area damage to help clear tons of little adds at once. Helps us activate Amplified, but pairing it with Arcane Needle is the important part because it gives us 3 charges, which helps us get Radiant better and create more orbs off of heavy-handed. But most importantly, it helps proc Devour, which gives us better restoration to health and grenades when we get ability kills. And kills refresh Devour, so you'll have a near constant uptime on that as well. Fragment-wise, we are going with Facet of Sacrifice, which basically lets us gain darkness energy from ability kills while we have an Arc, Solar, or Void buff active, those being Radiant, Amplified, or Devour. We'll have a constant uptime on one of those 3, which will be fantastic just to help us regenerate more darkness energy. Also, we're going to be using Facet of Purpose. Picking up an orb grants an elemental buff, matching our super. For us, it will be Amplified since we're using Storm Trance. Facet of Protection to get damage resistance when we're surrounded. And Facet of Grace, bonus transcendent energy on kinetic weapon kills, helps just give us more transcendence energy on both sides of the meter, which is going to pair very well with our kinetic weapon of choice, the Multi-Mock. Our role does have attrition orbs and kinetic tremors. You can pick this up if you haven't already from Banshee. It's part of the weapon gate. Apology from Bungie. Also going to be pairing it with a kinetic siphon for additional orb generation on multi-kills, which will pair well with attrition orbs since that does the same thing on sustained damage. And it'll also help proc kinetic tremors, which just creates a shockwave on sustained damage as well. An alternative you could also use is Bad Juju, mainly for the super energy regeneration and the ad clearing String of Curses explosions. Now we're jumping into one of my favorite guns Bungie's put in the game in a long time, the Velocity Baton. This is a Void Area Denial GL from Vesper's Host. Our role has Unrelenting and Attrition Orbs, which I believe is super fantastic because Unrelenting gives you health back on rapid kills. Orb generation from Attrition Orbs is super fantastic. Easy to proc, and you pair it with a Void Siphon to create even more orbs. Heavy Weapon Pro Memoria. It's that strand gun from the Pale Heart that you can craft, and you can craft it with Attrition Orbs. As you can see, this build is basically centered around Attrition Orbs. Also, in the 4th column, we're putting Target Lock on it just for sustained damage, gives us increased damage. The 4th option, as far as column goes, has a bunch of different options that you can choose from. Pick whichever one fits your playstyle. Firefly or Dragonfly, is a really good option on that one. Add a Strand Siphon mod to complete the synergy. You're going to have no problem creating orbs with any one of your weapons. Like I said with our helmet, we're using a kinetic, void, and Strand Siphon just to get orb generation off rapid kills across every weapon that we're using. For our gauntlets, we're going to be using heavy-handed to create orbs on powered melee kills, firepower to create orbs on grenade kills, and fastball because I hate throwing grenades slow and not very far. Chest piece, basically, I always opt for using damage resistance mod tailored to any activity that we're playing. If you're doing lower end content, you could always use reserve mods or anything like that. Leg-wise, I rarely take off recuperation and better already. In this one, we're using both. Helps replenish health on an orb pickup, but also immediately start to regenerate orbs or health on orb pickup as well. Lastly, we're going to be using a kinetic surge just to boost the multi-mock damage. You can use any surge you want. You don't have to use a surge. I'm using a kinetic surge just because I'm going to be using multi-mock probably the most in this activity, so that way it just helps bump up the damage a little bit. For a class item, this really helps pair well with the rest of the build. Reaper is a fantastic mod that generates orbs after we use our class ability, meaning you Phoenix Dive, get a weapon kill, generates an orb, and that can stack and generate an orb from attrition orbs, from your siphon mods, anything like that. We're also using Powerful Attraction to automatically collect nearby orbs when we Phoenix Dive, and then Bomber to get grenade energy on class ability usage. Like you saw in the beginning, this build helps create a ton of orbs very quickly. Whether you're keeping your weapons charged with surges or you're granting you and your fire team constant super uptime, this build is going to make sure everyone can maximize their gameplay. If you enjoyed this build guide, feel free to leave a like, share it with a friend, subscribe for more content. If you need a fire team to play with, hit up our Discord. Link is down below on that one. Tons of spots for LFGs. Feel free to even shoot myself a message on there. Love to jump in a fire team with y'all. But until then, I'll catch you in the next one.